Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it's been about a month or maybe even longer that I've played, or since I've played my current household with Stella Mckarthy. So a lot has actually changed and taken place since last time I've done like a kind of current household video, and this is exactly what it is. It's a current household video. So if you're not familiar with what those are basically me telling you about how my game is going when I'm not filming, or how my personal game is going when I'm off camera. So if you guys haven't watched the previous like Stella Mckarthy like playthroughs and current household updates and all that, then you probably have no idea about her backstory. Well, long story short, she is just a girl living her life. She came from a very rich background, wanted to make it on her own, and so she's basically struggling, but she's trying to be independent and not rely on anybody. So she had actually started to see someone, and if you guys have been following, then you already know she's been seeing Wyatt for a really, really long time. And it was never anything serious. It wasn't anything serious at all. It was always like, I kind of see him as my friend more than I see him as anything else. Like, she never saw him, or never took him seriously. And to be fair, he kind of dressed a little geeky and very like conservative. Not exactly what Stella is into or her type. She's more into the big flashy bang bang and like the men who dress with, nice suits and ties. And she's not a gold digger or anything, but she just likes a guy who dresses a little more adult. And Wyatt didn't. I guess Wyatt was very like childish in her opinion, but I hate to say this, and I'm going to be very adult when I say this. He was just a fun time in the sack. You know what I mean? And so that's all she really ever saw him as. And then one day, Wyatt started changing. And I bet you're wondering about the whole Carson deal too, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But one day, Wyatt started changing. And she was like, oh, is he trying to impress me kind of deal? Like, this is different, like new clothes, new hairstyle. He, got tattoos. And I mean, she just found herself completely like head over heels infatuated. And I think that's a little, would you stop chopping your damn fingers off? Okay. I'm not trying to make fingerling potatoes here. All right. Thank you. So she was just kind of like, oh, ooh la la. It's very shallow. I'm not going to lie. She is a shallow. Did you get frozen? Oh, no. Okay. She is kind of a... Are you looking at the pot rack? What are you doing, Stella? Yeah. No, she's looking at the pot rack. I was wondering what was going on here. So she's not like a shallow person. Okay, no, I just said she was. She is kind of shallow. Okay, I take it back. She is shallow. Was that a bat? She's pretty shallow, especially when it comes to Wyatt, because Wyatt always wanted to be with her. He was like, I care about you. I want to be with you for the longest freaking time. And she was like, no, Wyatt, we're just friends and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden when he started changing, which again, she thought was for her, she was like, now all of a sudden she's like, ooh, Wyatt this, Wyatt that. And Wyatt comes from an extremely wealthy background. He has an amazing job, things he never told Stella, because he thought maybe she was into him for him, and he didn't need to disclose what he had underneath his belt in his bank account. Okay. We'll get back to that in a second. So the whole thing with Carson, Destiny came out to her and said, I'm pregnant, and I'm pregnant with the guy that you basically have been bringing around the house that you've been interested in, right? Freaking Stella went berserk. She's like, I'm finished with you. I'm finished with Carson. Good girl, right? She completely was just she's not going to deal with it. She doesn't want to deal with it. She kind of thought, well, hey, I've got Wesley on the side, so I mean, at least I can kind of fall back on that. So she didn't really think anything of it. She let Carson go. Carson was like, baby, please stay with me. This was an accident. I don't want to be with Destiny. It's not my destiny. But Stella was like, snooze you lose sort of deal. It's no sweat off my back. So she's been kind of seeing Wesley in the meantime, Wyatt, trying to get him to kind of be on her team. if you get what I mean, like, you know? So it's not really working out, and she can't really figure out why. I'm actually going to take you over right now to Wyatt's house, get you guys introduced to him a little bit, and then maybe we can peer into his background just a teensy bit more and see what's going on. Because he would come over. Well, he came over one day, and he was pissed. Like, he was, and this is all true, this really did happen. This is actually where he lives, too. He lives with his 2 sisters and his mom and dad, who are divorced, but just live under the same house because they want to, keep the family together. They're going to die soon anyway. Sad, but that's just the reality of the situation. So they kind of just, like, all live here. And, I think Wyatt is the oldest, so he will get ownership of the house and everything like that. But his sisters just kind of live here right now. So anyway, this is Wyatt right now. He's dressed up in his attire to go to work. I mean, why not, right? I don't know if he's actually going to work. No, I think he just got off like yesterday. I don't know why he's wearing it then. I'll show you guys his outfit. Okay, so this is actually what he looks like now. We'll take you into his athletic wear. I think it's athletic wear. No. What are you doing? You doing the potty dance, girl? Go pee-pees then. Go pee-pees. This is like my favorite skin that I always wear, and you guys say like the contour on the tats is a little too deep. Well, this is like the lighter version of the contour on the tats. I don't know. I just click the first one that's on there, and that's just what I go with. But anyway, so Wyatt got mad. He came over to Stella's house one day because he had heard rumors that, that she was seeing someone. And like, he would see, sometimes he would go by her house after work or whatever, and he would see like this guy leaving and such. And he never really understood what was going on because, well, he actually did. He stuck 2 and 2 together. He's like, she's not interested in me because she's screwing around with some other guy. Cool, fine. I'm going to go about my business. I'm going to live my life. That's exactly what he did. And I'm laughing because I'll tell you why he did. So, this woman here is actually who he's been seeing, Melanie Norwood. She is a super duper successful professional athlete. She actually trains one of the sports teams, and she's actually a former professional athlete, but she does do professional training and stuff like that for like the local, like, NFL and that kind of thing. So she's like a huge high profile, high profile sim in this community. And so he met her at one of like the football games, and she was like practicing and like teaching, not practicing, but she was like teaching, like the football team or whatever, coaching them or whatever. And he kind of like glanced at her, she glanced at him, and she was into him as he was. Like, he wasn't super hot or anything. Like, he's just a very normal guy. And she was like, I don't know, she was like intrigued. But she also knows he comes from the line of Hester's. So I'm not really sure what her intent is, if it's, if it's genuine or whatever the situation is. I don't know. But he has been seeing her for a while, and they've been kind of doing the woo-hooty and the woo-hoo, and I mean, he even has a picture of her in his room saying, "my babe," and all that stuff. Stella's actually never been to Wyatt's house, and if she ever does, I think she would lose it. Keep in mind, Wyatt is now sleeping with both of these women. He's seeing both of them. Now, he's leaning towards more Melanie because he can actually see a future with her. Stella, he's starting to get a little selfish now. He loved her. He loved Stella pretty openly. He never really, what am I doing? No, girl, no. He never judged her upon what she had or didn't have. He never, criticized her or, like I said, thought differently of her. He was so transparent with her and loved her so deeply. And when he found out that she was dating somebody else and couldn't even be upfront and honest with it and just say, "Hey, I'm not interested in you," he lost a great amount of respect for her. And he still cares about her. That's exactly why he can't exactly just be like, "Hey, Stella, I'm done with you." That's the problem. But he really does like Melanie, and things are getting pretty hot and heavy between him and Melanie. Things are getting pretty freaking serious. And Stella, on the flip side, is starting to notice that Wyatt is being a little MIA and a little less involved in her life, and she's starting to kind of like wonder what's going on and getting jealous almost, and she doesn't know why. And I think she is falling for him, but at the exact same time, things are just complicated. You know what I mean? So I think Stella actually does want to be with Wyatt. I just don't think Wyatt wants to be with her anymore like that. You know, he wants to kind of sleep with her and stuff like that, but when things are serious with him and Melanie, things are going to be serious with him and Melanie, you know? Like, things are going to be serious. He's not going to be screwing around with Stella anymore, but it's not that he's trying to keep Stella on the back burner or anything. He just genuinely doesn't know what he wants to do. Like, he really, 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 really cares about Melanie a lot, and the relationship with Stella is almost purely, you know, woohootable, I guess, or sexual, I guess, you know, because their romance bar is like through the roof, and him and Melanie, they've got a little more of a balanced relationship, and you know, she's just so determined and driven and super duper sexy, and oh my god, okay, so there's two more things I gotta tell you. And he's intrigued by her, you know, her background, she's Indian, he likes that she's from a different culture than he is. He loves the fact that she has so much to offer that Stella really doesn't anymore. So he's actually almost finding more of a connection with Melanie versus Stella. And the funny thing is Melanie actually recently moved into the same neighborhood as Stella and lives exactly across the street from Stella. So the person that is kind of stealing away the one man she always thought would be there, because I told you guys he did love her, he was always going to be there, is now seeing somebody else, and that someone else is living like right across the street from her. The thing with Melanie is Melanie, being the kind of high-profile sim that she is, she's kind of been dating around, but I don't think it's like a bad thing. I think she was just seeing other people, and then when she met Wyatt, she definitely became very grounded to him, and even though Wyatt is suspicious of her, Melanie isn't doing anything wrong or anything like that. You know, he's suspicious because, come on, he has like an amazing estate. He has lots of money. He, you know, has things that people would want and would take advantage of him for. So things right now are just very up in the air for the Stella Mckarthy household, and Wyatt and Melanie Norwood. I don't know what's going to go on. I don't know if Wyatt's going to, you know, end up getting with Melanie and starting a family with her sort of deal, or, you know, maybe Stella can convince Wyatt, you know, she was just totally overlooked. And I don't even know if Carson is going to stay with Destiny, because they actually live together right now. But it'd be interesting to play this through and see the baby, Carson's baby, because come on, Carson's a dream. And it would be interesting to see kind of what happens with Melanie and Wyatt, or actually Melanie and these other dudes, or Wyatt and Stella. And also there was a couple cute brothers, like a pair of brothers that I actually have them on the gallery. It's called The Man Next Door and then The Other Man Next Door. They're the Cooper family. They're separated, but you can download them together or separate, whatever you want to. And they're brothers, and they're really cute too, actually. And they live right next to Stella, and Stella's introduced herself. She brought over some cookies and that kind of stuff. And so she knows who they are, but they're nobody. Like, they're just acquaintances right now. But this family here, it's a mess. Like I said, Oksana here, if you guys remember my Snyder family, she was kind of dating, I don't think it's going to pop up here, but she was dating Julian Schneider, like way back. She was obviously older than him, and she was dating him for a while, and like left the house, divorced her husband, and her husband was like, you know, you need to be with your family, you need to come back, you know, this is home, blah, blah, blah. We don't have to be married, but basically we can just coexist here, raise the children. And that's what she did. That's what she did, you know. I don't know if she just had, I think she had all three of her children. So let's just go through them real quick. We have obviously Oksana. She was a freaking stunner in her day. We have Wyatt Hester, who is, I do believe, the oldest. Yeah, he is the oldest. He's actually going to be an old man soon, which is weird. And Stella's way young. So Wyatt's actually older than her, but I might fix that. I totally thought something weird was going on there. And this is Reagan, who's, I believe, the exact same age. So they may be twins. Reagan and Wyatt may be twins. And then we have Claire, who's the youngest of them all. She's kind of the baby. And she has a very distinct facial shape. Like, it's a little bit of Oksana and it's a little bit of Finley. And this, where's Finley? Where's Finley these days? Where did he go? What is the Finn? All right, so this is Finley. Finley Hester. He is French and Italian, and then Oksana, she's just pure Russian. So Wyatt has got a little bit of Italian in him. He's got a little bit of Russian in him, and then he's got a little bit of French in him. I do think, I may be wrong, but I do think that there is some like Japanese, a little bit of Japanese going on in here, and I think Finley's or not great grandparents, but grandparents or something like that. I can't really remember, but because I noticed that they also have a little twinge of that as well. But I really don't know. They're like a total blended family. They have so many different backgrounds to them, and it's really interesting. Actually, I haven't played, but just in this hour, the story's developed so much. So, anyways, I just wanted to tell you guys what was going on in my current household. I can't wait to play more. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any theories on where the story will go or anything like that, let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And yeah, don't forget to go ahead and comment, rate, and subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Bye, guys. Surprise is the vector name. So it's very important that he plays this part because he has a lot riding on his shoulders. So I'm going to give him that kind of spruced up look. Like I said, we've really never focused in on the vectors as much as we could have, should have, that sort of thing. Because really, to be honest with you, there's...